Oh, that Tamra then tells Emily with no remorse whatsoever, well, I am going to meet with Katie.
I think Emily has something to hide.
Oh.
Her reaction was far too strong.
Yeah.
Her reaction was just like anger. She turned it. It went from like, you shouldn't do that to, now I'm angry that you would even speak to her. I think at that point they thought Katie was gone. And with Katie, other stuff that maybe hadn't come out yet. We gonna stir it up and do things our way. So if you wanna move, get out of our way. Hey.
Hey, it's Monday and it's OC time.
That's right. We're gonna cure your Sunday scaries with our, I was gonna say Tamra scaries. I needed to go somewhere.
It was a lot of Tamra scary, like honestly, this episode.
Yeah.
God. Just the rage overfloweth.
I know.
With her.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
You know what else could help, just so you know, to help our subscriptions, our numbers overflow. Just hit subscribe.
And make sure that you're following us on Instagram and TikTok, because if you're not, you're missing out on some really good content.
Yeah.
Not just the promos for the show, but hello, Jordan turning Lisa Rinna into Keith Urban in a post has gone viral, and it is, when he showed it to me at first, I was like, I almost wet my mouth. I was like, this is brilliant. And I'm so happy that the interwebs have caught on too.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, you probably maybe have seen it even if you don't follow, but I don't want to give you that out. Just follow, because it's all over.
Just follow.
We're
everywhere. It is the intersection of like Bravo Housewives culture and pop culture. To be honest with you, that's what our Anyway, in psychology, which we do not have a degree in, but we do have a degree in Housewives.
That's great, a doctorate, really. And what? I guess we should dive into it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. But actually, before we dive in, I want to thank all of our commenters and watchers on YouTube who were sisters in arms with me about the whole like shenanigans. Sorry, I used a word that you hate.
Yeah. I thought you were going to tell me they all agree to get rid of that word.
Well, I'm trying not to curse. That's actually why I use that word, because I'm trying not to curse as much. But the bull crap that Peacock has been pulling about putting the Watch What Happens Live episodes with the OC ladies on right after an episode. And so it's for me, it's messing up, because I do all the editing and publishing of our episodes, and so I number everything, and it's messing up my numbering, messes up my system that I have here. It's very important to me. but so many of y'all are not up for this bull crap either, and I really appreciate it. Like, if they were going to do some bull crap of like putting in a weird episode in between, don't make it Watch What Happens Live. Make it the after show. Make it the after show.
Yeah, those should be paired together. That would be logical.
I would not enjoy it for my own like nerdy organizational like reasons, but I would respect it because they would go together like ham and cheese.
I wonder with them essentially forcing Watch What Happens Live down our throats this way, maybe, I don't know if there's a ratings issue with Watch What Happens Live, but if there is, I wonder if it's because of the after show. I watch the after show. I just want to get straight to the point. I don't want to. I don't want to watch which cast member from Happy Days would Heather Dubrow kiss first. Like, I just want to hear about the show.
I mean, it's Fonzie.
Yeah,
there's no.
So I haven't been watching Watch What Happens Live unless there's something. Scandal.
I don't. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. So I don't appreciate it. Just. Anyway. Okay. Sorry. I just wanted to say thank you, YouTube commenters and watchers for being here with me and like validating that Jordan and I are not alone in our hatred of that.
Yeah.
So. All right.
Well, speaking of hatred, there's plenty to go around this episode of Orange County. Did you guys catch something here, by the way? It opens with Tamra setting up for her spring florals party. And if you
But before that, though, Jen and Gretchen meet up.
Oh, that's right. I just went straight to the good. Yeah, they did.
You did. But I know what you're going to say about the floral party, though. Yeah. But Jen and Gretchen meet up, and it's so. I'm sorry. It just was a quick, like, Gretchen trying to spin the entire thing, like, in her favor, and also trying to push all the blame onto Emily and Heather, like, saying that this whole thing was their fault. And it's like, no, Gretchen, it is absolutely not.
What I liked when they were replaying it, because we got the flashbacks and cut together, it's so fun. And by the way, you're not invited. Wear your florals, bitches. As she was.
I know. I'm glad they showed that. Like, the thing that we didn't see, that she walked back in was like, "Here's an invitation. You're not invited." Because you're a bitch.
Oh, did you see this was another one, I guess, left off camera from this scene they're replaying. Find it in the after show. There is another time that Tamra quit in that scene. We're going to get to her quitting later this episode, but Heather says in the after show, in that self-defense meltdown, Tamra quit. So there are actually 3 times so far this season.
Yep. Exactly. Well, now Tamra decorates her house.
Did you catch the flowers she was using to decorate?
Yes. And as a little nod, it's bringing this entire show full circle, bringing it back to Scott Dunlop, basing this show off of Desperate Housewives and them living on Wisteria Lane.
Yeah, she's hanging the flowers, and she's like, "Oh, it's wisteria. It's like wilted." Something she said. I was like, "Wisteria." There you go. And then later, when Emily walks in, she's like, "Oh, Wisteria Lane," which it's the moment.
I mean, if people don't know that, I don't know what to say. Then you don't know the Housewives lore like Jordan and I do.
And it had to be intentional, because only the way they were dressed, everything, that's not Tamra's kind of theme. That is
no, it's not. It is not at all or Tamra's kind of theme. Jen Pedranti's, Shannon Beador's, even Heather's, yes, but Tamra's absolutely not.
No. What did we get in there out of that? You had Shannon trying to do an olive branch with Teddi.
Yeah. And also then Eddie, coming in and Tamra telling him about the day before, that whole setup of like, we need you to tell Eddie about what happened, even though we know that you didn't run home immediately and go cry to him.
Yeah. We did get something good out of this, though. Jen Pedranti. Jen Pedranti followed. And by the way, we said it on the other episode, and we could verify it here. We've gone through their Instagrams. It's Jeff Timmons from 98 Degrees. I even looked up his home, and he lives somewhere in the Orange County area. It's him. His Tamra and Alex Baskin follow Jeff Timmons' wife, who is the woman who alerted Tamra to Jen Pedranti following him. Yeah.
And I go, I mean, it comes up later on, but I was like, why did you go follow him? I just wrote, like, girl is thirsty. Like, I understand, like, looking him up, like, maybe you didn't recognize his name, and then you're like, oh, he's from 98 Degrees. Okay. But, like, you followed him, and Jen again. Oh,
I mean, she's playing it off as, oh, I was curious. I just wanted to know. She just helped run Katie Ginella off the show for things like follows and DMs and mixing with people. Jen was hoping to do it herself.
I am. Well, and the thing is too, is that when she's confronted about it, she gives a bunch of bullshit about, like, why can't I follow him? Like, I didn't know he was da 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 da. But then in her confessional, she was like, of course I followed him. Like, I thought that he would come to me with basically some dirt. And which is exactly why she followed Gretchen and she started talking to like it's all the same hypocrisy. Again, I'm here for the hypocrisy, but girl, just like be like, you can't have it both ways. Like if you're gonna do it, don't admit it on your confessional. Just keep one story going the entire time.
That's an absolute Katie move.
Yes.
Which, yeah.
These newbies don't realize, like, if you're going to have a story, you got to keep that story going through everything, even your confessional. You can be snide and you can be snarky in your confessional. You can talk badly about somebody behind their back in your confessional, but don't be one person in your scenes and then a different person in your confessional. You need to be the same person. You need to keep the same storyline going through.
Yeah. Otherwise we doubt you.
Yeah. Anyway, also then, Tamra also, and this comes up later on, she keeps like throwing Heather under the bus about like Heather not being a good friend to her. And I just go, stop it. Heather's basically like almost your only friend on the show right now. Not really. I mean, I think actually the women are being pretty nice to Tamra this season, given everything, but like, Heather's like there for you. You just don't like the fact that like Heather actually is not taking your bullshit like she usually does. That's the whole point. Like for whatever reason, Heather's just not in the mood to do that this season. So
I think I mean, does Tamra want to be coddled by Heather? Is that what it is? Like
I think
she's
so.
using the Teddi pass and everything with that to kind of get out of everything she's done. And they're giving her a very generous partial pass for a lot of it.
They really are. Even Shannon.
That was the olive branch we got in the same scene. She, a few days after Temecula, she reached out she had researched some treatments for Teddi. So which is something. Did Shannon ever have, because Shannon has come through for these cast members when they're having things like cancer scares and stuff over the years, even back to Brooks and everything. I wonder if she had, because she's very knowledgeable about it apparently.
I want to say like there's something going into my head of like, did her mother have cancer or something like that? I don't know. But but Shannon's also very much into like health and wellness type of stuff. So like, I think that also is a thing too. So, or maybe she did like charity stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, speaking of Heather and Shannon, they have a nice like little girl. They're getting along this season. I don't know. Do you like that?
I mean, it's not going to stop me from saying what I have to say. No, but I do. I mean, I think that, well, another thing with this show is it spans, the age range spans, and really Shannon and Heather are age appropriate for each other. It makes sense that they could be friendly and go to an activity like that and chat.
Yeah. Well, and also friendships are always rotating on these shows. Like, so it's always fluid. So, and I don't think anybody's going to say, oh, they're best friends now.
Yeah.
But I think it is kind of nice to not see them at each other's throats like it has been in years past. So I think that's kind of nice.
Now to say what I have to know. Well, something that did annoy me about this scene is when Shannon walks in and then, oh, my broken readers, and she puts them on, and then she puts them on, then they cut, they're crooked, then they're missing. And I'm like, it's a shtick. She's really leaning into that Sonia Morgan, I'm dysfunctional but lovable, I'm a little bit of a mess, and it's feeling, in that moment I was like, it's feeling put on.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I think she's hoping maybe if she's watched Sonia Morgan and how she was kind of protected, because, people are like, she's harmless and a little sad and a little disheveled.
I mean, look, last episode, that's what Eddie said about her. It's like, she's harmless. Like, so it's working.
Yeah.
It's working.
Yeah, it was just like, I think she's been like rehearsing that. It's like, you can.
Well, at the same time, Gina goes shopping with Emily, and for an outfit for this stuff. And it's both sets of teams, I'm just going to call them teams, are talking about the sex recording. I think that's the best way to call it.
Yeah.
And it's not even there. It's not even real. So, there is a bunch of talk. It's like that Heather doesn't like how aggressive Tamra gets. And I kind of want to say at Heather, like, well, do you think this is new? Like, are you just realizing this about Tamra? Like, what's going on here? Or is it just like I don't know, because Tamra's always been like this. She's always been aggressive like that. Does it just seem worse this season because she's upset about Teddi and Gretchen is here, and that's really like pushing her over the edge? I don't know. Is there more stuff that we're not seeing on camera that's making it kind of worse? I don't know. But I'm kind of like,
I'm thinking at this point too, we know she's quit the show twice by the time they've had this. So maybe she's getting worn out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't think about that. Yeah. Well, and
then, wait, here's where Shannon tells Heather though.
Oh yeah.
About Gina. And what Gina's, even though they all said it, but it was Gina who led the pack, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed like they were all kind of leading the pack, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like Gina got the brunt of it when the confrontation happened, but they all like said stuff about Heather.
Yeah.
It's comedy. And Shannon definitely tried to make herself like look a little better about it.
Yeah, like, no, I was telling them it's very prestigious. Blah, blah, blah. It's a very famous group. I'm so happy for you. I don't know why they were being... Yeah. I didn't think about that till they do the flashback. And I'm like, oh yeah, she was cackling too.
Yeah. I mean, I understand again, like why this would piss off Heather so much, like for several different reasons. One, because like she basically gave up her career to have a family. So it's like, and now she's finally getting back to the career that she, had, and she doesn't know. I mean, she kind of talks about that later on, but also like anybody who wants to be in the arts in any way, it's very hard for, I'm just going to say, normal people to accept that or to try to even understand it. It's very, very hard, because they're always like, kind of like, well, are you sure? And like, I don't get it. And so it's even worse when it's your friends and you think that they might be a safe space for you to like talk about your dreams and your hopes and like kind of put that out there. Because the fact of the matter is too, is that you would never see this group of women tell another woman, are you sure you should be a mother? I could never picture you being a mother. Do you know what I mean? And so when something like, being an artist in any way feels very natural to you as being a mother, like, why would you poo-poo somebody for trying to go after something that feels very natural to them in their life? So I think people really need to like check themselves and watch themselves before they poo-poo people's dreams.
Heather's a better person than me, or because I knew in that moment what I would have said to Gina if I was Heather, which is, it's kind of funny. I don't see you in real estate because you barely own a house. Ha ha, bitch. Let's talk about it. I mean,
let's talk about. I mean, and that would be something that like Tamra would say, to Gene. That's exactly like Heather is definitely a better person when it comes to that.
Because she could have easily gone there. And my thinking too is like you were talking about her creative dreams and stuff. Also, it's just in bad form on these shows to put down another cast member's business. Yeah. I mean, this is supposed to be Heather's career. You don't want to be Ramona asking Jill Zarin why she's with Kodak because they're an antiquated brand. Remember that? No. You don't. Women are supposed to support other women. Not really, but at least face to face.
I mean, look, like I don't see people asking Gina where her fucking skincare line went.
Yeah.
All the time. Like, they could think whatever they think. Yet at the same time, I will say this, like, again, Heather had a career before Real Housewives. Heather had a career before she married Terry and had children. She may not have been Jennifer fucking Aniston, but she had something a lot better than most of us who move out to LA and try to like make it.
When she joined Housewives, my mom, who's not into Housewives at all, but it's in the press and stuff, she recognized her from a sitcom she loved in the 90s. Yep. But yeah, like Gina said, but no, she was known in that circle.
Yeah.
So something else with Gina that I think bugs Heather, all the women do it to her, including Emily, but Gina really is into it, is they pick on Heather because they view Heather, obviously she's the wealthiest, she's the most successful, she seems very strong and perfect, so they think they could use that as like a punching bag, like, oh, she can take the digs, she can take the insults. And with Gina, it's very much hiding behind the I'm the youngest and the poorest, so it's a very, let's say, Vanderpump, Brandy Glanville kind of dynamic between them. And I think Heather's sick of it because Heather doesn't take digs, like I said, at how poor Gina is. She encourages her. But Gina always thinks Heather can be sacrificed. She has enough.
I would agree with you. And I think to add on top of that too, is that Heather's also very smart. And it's like she's expected to dumb herself down to the level of like Gina and some of these other women. And I'm not calling them unintelligent, but I'm just saying that when they start saying that they don't find Heather funny, and they were like, Terry's funny, or like even in the after show, and it was like, I find Emily funny, and they show these things, I go, that's because these are people who go after low-hanging comedy fruit. They're insult comics. These are people who either insult people or tell dick and fart jokes and think it's funny. I was like, there are different levels of comedy. I was like, so you probably don't understand Mike Birbiglia's like type of comedy and like his whole like storytelling and how fucking funny that shit is. Now I'm gonna curse. I was like, or like somebody like Josh Johnson, who like he comes up with sets like the day after like news breaks. It's amazing how funny that guy is. But you don't have to be the hee ha ha person to be a comedy actor at all. Also, there are people who are very funny and they play the straight person. Like you have to bounce the like craziness with somebody who can play something very like calm almost, but they have a comedic timing as well. So I just go, I feel like that's me being a snob. This is my inner Heather coming out of like, there's a lack of intelligence to understand some of these women just don't understand how intelligent comedy is.
Yeah, like, is she talking down to them or are they listening up to her?
I think she's had to dumb herself down a lot. And I think she goes home a lot to Terry and just goes, oh my God, I can't deal with these fucking Neanderthals anymore.
I mean, when I started thinking about it, because I don't sit there cracking up at Heather one-liners or whatever, but I'm like, do you guys think you're any? Look, just a few minutes ago, I was pointing out Shannon's tired shtick of the like disheveled, oh, I spilled this, oh, are any of them that funny? It's either slapstick or it's like, I was waiting for one of them to be like Gina I was waiting for, but they ended up going to Emily, but saying Gina being like, oh, I should be the comic. Her boy, I can't do her voice, but you know
what?
She's not.
At least Shannon has some slapstick comedy. Yeah. At least she's got physical comedy on her side, like, and she can kind of get that done. I mean, it's anyway.
Yeah, I was just like,
I've gone on my diatribe. That's enough. So I will defend Heather a little bit more later on, but I think we can tell this is something that gets my goat.
What else do we have then? We have on the tattoo situation, Jen Pedranti.
My two things were, okay, first of all, I think we find out that Jen Pedranti actually has the coolest birthday.
What is it?
It's 777. Her birthday is July 7th, 1977.
Oh, is that why he was
Yeah.
getting the sevens across his? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I kind of like the first time I watched it, I was like, is that it? I was like, well, go back. And I was like, yeah, I think that's her birthday. Her birthday is July 7th, 19. I was like, that's one of the coolest birthdays. Like
Mhm.
next to 888, like, August 8th, 1988. Like that's a pretty cool freaking birthday. And then my second thought was, it was such a bad thought, but I was like, you're going to the Marines and you passed out while getting a tattoo.
Yeah.
I'm such an asshole. But I also go, you're a boy. You've never had menstrual cramps. You don't really know what pain is. And now you're going to the Marines. You're about to know what pain is now. So
Yeah. I thought
buck up, little camper.
the previews made it seem like a seizure, which they did for dramatic effect. And I was waiting to see, because I've had friends go in the military, and it's like, if it is a seizure, he's essentially going to be disqualified. That's just a non-starter. Yeah. They can't have, if you need medications like that for epilepsy, something, they can't send you out into the forest or the desert, wherever.
No.
And then the other thing I was thinking of, he's lucky. I don't know if it was the timing of how it worked out, because they show her other son. He comes along, Harrison. And Harrison's the son who they've been milking Dawson for to sign off on his student loans. And that's another thing when you join the military. My friend went into intelligence, post-college, master's degree. So I don't know if there's a difference in that, but they had to examine his finances and make sure the debt he had, student loans, etc., to the potential income of the military would be survivable, because they don't want you in a tight financial spot where you could sell secrets or something. But
it's true. Yeah.
So I'm saying they're loading this 18-year-old up in hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to be, I'm assuming, a base soldier Marine. I don't know how they let that slide.
Mean, I don't know. I'm not incredibly well versed in the military, but yes, there's different ways of moving up as an enlisted man versus being an officer. And if you've graduated from college, you go the officer route.
Yeah.
If you haven't, then he's going in as an enlisted. So there's only certain things, but if he was going to get promotions later on, that would be something that they would.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was he's not going. We better hope Harrison is able to pay his own loans, because.
Let's hope he doesn't have a job that's taken by AI.
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping every day. Again, please subscribe.
Yeah.
Please subscribe.
Take that, Gina. No.
after I've just insulted a child. No, he's an adult. He's an adult. I've insulted a man passing out. He's never had menstrual cramps, and I think every woman out there can go, that is correct.
I'll offer him an olive branch, and that is, I knew exactly what was happening when the tattoo artist, when he started passing out, she told the other employee, go get the rubbing alcohol. I knew exactly that. It's like smelling salts. Not saying it's been used on me. Dude, not saying I've ever passed out anywhere. But that's what I knew.
Also the tattoo artists were very calm. They're like, this happens all the time. Like, Jen was freaking out, which I agree. Like, as a mother, I would do that too. Like, as a mother, I am not a mother. If I was a mother, I would probably be freaking out. But they were so calm, and so they got the alcohol. But also, then I think another guy came over with smelling salts.
Oh, okay. So they had them, because I've had those used.
So they had them too.
Not for anything.
And those will
heroic.
wake you. That'll wake you the F up for sure.
Oh my God. You know what I was expecting when I was watching it? And I wasn't hoping for it, but this would have been the perfect scene, the way they set it up. For drink your juice, Shelby.
Yep.
That's what I thought this scene was going to be about. So
yeah.
Oh,
all right, let's move off of the diabetes. Okay, then we have like Emily and Shane talking about their kids. some more. This actually was I was like, oh, thank God she's not crying and yelling at Shane. So I guess they finally got Luke tested, and it turns out, sounds like he's not autistic, but that he has like ADHD and another learning disability.
Oh yeah, he had ADHD, OCD, anxiety, dyslexia.
There you go.
That's a lot. They said
that's a lot. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, she was in the confessional when she was like, he's 9 years old and he didn't know how to read, or he couldn't read. She didn't say know how to. She said couldn't. That's dyslexia, meaning,
yeah.
Okay, I was going to be like, yeah. But I mean.
Yeah. Well, but he has a twin brother who's there to like help him. And then also like, I remember I have a friend and she has twin younger brothers, and apparently they didn't start talking for a very long time, and there wasn't actually anything like neurologically wrong with them or physically wrong with them. It was just that everybody was anticipating their needs, so they didn't need to talk.
Oh.
So there could also be like, there's sometimes like an I'm not saying that this is the case with Luke, but what could keep him from reading is that if there is an anticipation from Emily, or I'm going to say Emily because I don't think Shane would do this, of Emily, of like, I need to do this for Luke to make his life easier, not knowing what all is going on, then he wouldn't have to read, or he wouldn't have to do certain things or push himself.
Yeah.
So, but that is very gross generalization right there of stuff that I don't necessarily know all that much about. But I'm very glad that like each boy has their own therapist, and that Shane and Emily went to therapy and learned more about it, so that Shane and Emily, because I'm going to say Emily too, but both of them could learn how to parent him better and get him what he needs.
Yeah, it sounded like Emily was too hands on, Shane was too hands off, and now
exactly
they're in the middle.
Yeah, which that is good.
What else is there? We get back.
Well, let's get. I mean, we've got basically now we can get into the meat of the episode, which is Tamra's party. But as Tamra's setting up for the party, Gretchen is having her Easter family photo shoot with a hired bunny.
Yeah. Where Shannon, this scene is going to be replayed at the reunion. This is Shannon now, after that peace offering, taking, researching Teddi's, to help her for Tamra. Now she's calling Gretchen on the way there. Like, she doesn't just say like, I'm like dreading this party. She wants to apologize to Gretchen and Slade. Yeah, Shannon.
What?
Yeah, Shannon.
Oh well.
You're gonna need to hath risen after that Easter photo shoot. She picked the wrong side here.
Oh, I don't know. Am I the only one who like? I know it's like. I think she's how old is Skylar? Like,
she's been 3 years old for 10 years. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's like 5 or 6 or something. 5 or 6, I want to say. But there was something about the picture of her like giving her dad a kiss. But there was something weird about it. I was like, are they gonna keep doing pictures like that when she's like 16? So I'm not the only one that was like kind of creeped out by that.
Yeah, I get where you're going.
It wasn't like a kiss on the cheek. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. There was just something to me.
It's that like emotional
creepy.
incest, like girl dad, boy mom.
Yeah,
like
that's what it is.
Always going to be her daddy's little. Yeah.
Yes, I'm not saying anything inappropriate.
Right.
Do you know, not that they have an inappropriate relationship, but yes, exactly. The girl dad, the boy mom, that type of thing, the like emotional enmeshment type of like stuff. I just felt weird about it. I just was like, if it was the kiss on the cheek or like the hug, that's a little bit more, but I was just like, I don't know. it just gave me, it just in my.
There's a father-daughter dance in the oh my god, which is Arrested Development was set in Orange County. The mother boy dance, the annual mother boy dance.
The mother boy dance.
That's where the Smileys are heading.
Oh man. Oh, so what would it be called for her, like the
daddy
father,
girl dance? The
daddy girl dance. I think the daddy, because father daughter dance, those keep going, but the daddy girl dance. Well, no, they're gonna have one of those like purity ring, ceremonies and that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Ugh, gross. No. Mm-mm.
What else did we get there? What else did we get there? Well, the party arrives, or this is. By the way, I want to give a shout out to the baker, the cake artist. She I appreciate her because she's a Housewives fan. And she knew exactly what was going on and when to steer clear. This wasn't like that oblivious waiter who just happens to be at a resort they're staying at. This woman was like, oh.
But she also wasn't somebody who was like necessarily trying to be on the television, like trying to make the moment about herself. She was like, I am here to do a job. I know that I am going to see some fun stuff today, but I am here to do a job. And I'm going to do my job. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. I'm like, who is she? Because also, I'm going to say this entire party pisses me off. You know why? Because there is all of this cake and like none of it gets eaten.
Right.
There might be like part of one cake that gets eaten. They leave cake. They left cake there. Why would you leave cake? Like, why aren't you eating? I would have taken all the cakes. I would have taken all the icing with me. I don't like, hello.
Wait, personal question. With cake, do you prefer the cake or the icing?
You know what? It's both now.
Frosting. Are those different? I'd say frosting. I don't know if it's regional or if it's I'm not a baker. But
if you're a baker, I think you should tell us in the comments. Is frosting or what was the other word? Icing. Are those two different things?
Cake only exists as a vessel for frosting for me. I will eat it by the spoon. Like
sometimes, no, I will eat
hands out of a jar. I like frosting.
I love icing. I love frosting, but as I've gotten older though, I do enjoy cake as almost like sometimes to cut the sweetness of the icing at times, like, because sometimes it almost gets too sweet and I'm like, I need to cut this a little bit. So it just kind of
like if it's
depends.
I love coffee cake and that doesn't need frosting. I love like a crumble brown sugar kind of thing. But I mean like a birthday cake. I don't care about the cake. And like traditional. I'm talking traditional cake. I'm there for the frosting.
I'll tell you what, I love a good old grocery store sheet cake. Like white sheet cake, vanilla sheet cake, like with some icing on. That's what I did my birthday during the pandemic of 2020. I just got one of those cakes. I ordered it from Ralph's and I picked it up and I was just like, I just want cake. And I ate cake for like 3 days straight. It's an amazing birthday.
Yeah. I like, basic. Don't need.
I mean, I don't keep bread in this house, but I did buy the Trader Joe's pumpkin brioche loaf. And I will be lucky if that thing is still around by tomorrow afternoon. Like I can eat that all by. This is why I don't keep bread in my house. People are like, I don't believe you can't keep bread. I can't keep bread because I will eat the entire thing, and I live in LA. Hello.
Yeah.
You and I both know we got to keep it to protein.
Yeah. I run from car. Actually, I shouldn't have. Maybe the cake's on my mind because. Yeah. Back to healthier topics like drunk starved women. That's
Well, except for Emily.
Yeah.
Except for Emily. But that was really shady of me to say. Oh well, whatever. It's my podcast. It's our podcast. But Emily arrives first, and I really like her dress. I think it's actually the best she's looked all season.
Mm-hmm.
Like that the outfit, I thought that dress looked really good on her. I think it fit her really well. I think it was very flattering. And I also liked her hair and her makeup with that entire outfit. Like best she's looked all season.
She did. Her face slimmed down a little, but I'm talking about within this season, within episodes, because last year she was all about the fitness. This year she just kind of stopped talking about it, and then now I saw her, and like you said, she looked amazing this episode. I was like, oh.
I think she's also put less filler in her face.
That would help. Otherwise, because that's what I've been saying throughout this season, she's morphing into Lisa Vanderpump. And I don't necessarily just mean that as a bash. Like Lisa Vanderpump is very great, amazing features, but it's the filler they have the heavy makeup with the filler and the long you morph into one after enough surgery. So lightening it up makes her actually look younger. Yeah.
Yeah. We saw that with Lisa Hochstein on Miami a couple of years ago. Like when she came back, everybody was like, what happened to you? And she looked older and she just had too much filler, and then she got a bunch of it dissolved, and everybody was like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Like we know that you do a lot of stuff to your face, Lisa, like you're married to a plastic surgeon and everything like that, but it was just like too much. And we're like, oh my gosh. But okay, two things that were interesting when Emily comes in. First of all, she starts talking shit about Gretchen, which was great. I was like, of course, that's what you should do. You come into the hostess house and you start talking shit about her enemy. I was like, fantastic, perfect. This is what you're supposed to do. And she tells about this whole like Slade and Gretchen and their daughter prayer circle before they left, like hopped in the car to go up to Beverly. I was like, what is up? Again, the daddy girl dance. Like purity ring ceremony. Okay.
Yeah.
But then the next thing that Emily does is she brings up the trust conversation that the three of them had in Beverly Hills. And I was like, why the fuck are you bringing this up?
Oh yeah. She tells them and includes herself. At least she included herself, which
at least she did.
Which Shannon kind of removed herself when telling Heather about this equal convo on their trip. But Emily flat out said, but why would she?
But I mean, why would she do that right then and there? Like right before the like party's getting started, like to piss Tamra. I mean, that'd be one thing if the producers are like, you should tell her about this, but why do it right before the party's getting started? Like, I mean, just set Tamra off. Like you don't need much to set her off in the first place. So why do that right? I was like, she's got terrible timing. She's got a horrible timing. Like who told her to do this right then and there?
Maybe she was told to do it by like say production or something, because they needed something going into this party and they needed to get Tamra riled up.
It feels like it felt like it looked like Stacy, get your words together. It looked like it took 7 hours to film that party.
Wait, I just had a thought. Maybe Emily was doing it preemptively because we know after Gretchers begging Emily not to go tell Tamra about the music and stuff, Emily was like, oh, Gretchen's going to come back and say that. Well, guess what? Emily doesn't trust you. And so maybe that's why she preemptively was like, let's get this out of the way. And I'm so sorry. She was worried about retaliation.
I can 100% see that. Yet at the same time, Emily does it poorly. It's poor timing. She knows that Gretchen's not going to be at this party. So why do it at the very beginning of this? And then B, when she tells her, and of course, Tamra gets very upset about this, Emily kind of doubles down on the anger though, and starts yelling at Tamra. And I go, look, I don't think you're wrong, Emily. You and Heather are completely right. I've said this a million times, going back many seasons. I wouldn't trust Tamra with anything like that for the exact reasons that you guys said. It was like, but you also have to understand that if you tell somebody like that, they're not going to take it very well for the reasons why you don't trust them. So what were you thinking? What were you thinking telling them at that moment as they're about to host a party?
Yeah.
That she was going to be like, oh, okay. I'm so sorry. What can I do about that? Like, that's not, I'm sorry. We're talking about Tamra fucking Judge. Like,
and this isn't, I'm trying to think, like, because the trust could be interpreted different ways. That they were very clear with this. Heather gets very clear with it, what she means by trust. And it's, she doesn't trust her with her emotions. Tamra doesn't seem to care about her emotions, and everything gets stashed away for future revenge or whatever. So at least we know. But I was like, because they could have, honestly, it would have been horrible. And good for the audience if they what do they mean by trust? Because if you interpret it different ways, each person really shouldn't be trusted. You're on a Housewives cast, but for what's the reason?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, really, I wouldn't trust any of these bitches. I wouldn't trust myself. I would come back from filming and I'd be like, what the fuck did I just say?
Yeah.
What did I hear and what did I just say? And, oh my gosh.
Send out just a mass email to the cast. No, a mass text at the end of every filming session. Sorry, felt slightly backed into a corner. Hope your marriage survives. XOXO.
Yep. Gina arrives. Tamra comes back down, but then is like, she's in that mood. She's in that mood that actually everything's fine. That actually viscerally made my stomach go like tighten, because I grew up with that type of like passive aggressive anger in my household. You know what I mean? So it's like that was not fun.
Yeah.
And that again makes me actually, I can't, like, this is like the season I'm actually becoming the most sympathetic, even though I feel like some of our listeners thinking I'm sympathetic towards Tamra. That is not the case. It's the respecting the game. This is the season I'm becoming the most sympathetic towards Heather, because I'm starting to understand her more. So like the things that she's said, I was like, oh, Heather and I are more alike than I thought. I was like, so like if Heather had walked into that, like I get it. Like I just like, oh. But then when Jen comes in and she's like, in her confessional, she was like, I just cannot stand, pretending. And I was like, girl, stop. You literally like are pretending like all the fucking time.
Everything.
Pretending.
Yeah, her
everything.
relationship, her living situation, everything is glossed over, in denial. She doesn't see anything she doesn't want to see.
Pretending she didn't say something that she said, pretending that she didn't see something that she see, or heard something that she heard. Like, no, stop. Just stop. Oh, good God, girl.
This is where Jen Pedranti's losing credibility. I think we could see kind of the Bambi, that Disney princess innocence is gone, and like she's absolutely playing the game. So at this point, of course, in the middle of filming, you don't know, but at this point, the audience knows it's a bunch of crap, and that we're not buying the like double talk and game of damsel in distress.
We're on to her now. Yep. What should I call it? It was interesting how there's a conversation where it was so interesting because like Heather's talking about, I forget exactly how the conversation came up, because like Tamra says something about like, oh, well, Gretchen believes her lies. And Heather's like, well, no, she just, whatever she says, she believes it so much, even if it's not true. And I was like, that's exactly what Tamra said. Like, I was like, Heather, that's the same thing. That's the same thing.
It was a disagreement over lying, and Heather.
Yeah, but it was semantics.
No, but Tamra, that she's a liar, and Heather said she's so convinced of her own lies, she doesn't even realize she's lying. So it's and like Tamra said, she had a point. That's what a sociopath does. They believe their own lies.
It's true.
Heather fell into that.
Yeah.
That was a good assist.
And the thing is, and I also think, but I think that like, I think that's what Tamra was saying at the beginning, like, but it also was just, it's like, well, yeah, Tamra's just saying it in a more simpler way. She's like, look, she just believes her own lies. Like, she's lied so much she believes it. So it's like she thinks that's the truth, which then Emily says, well, that's what Katie's done. And then that Tamra then tells Emily with no remorse whatsoever, well, I am going to meet with Katie and sit down, because I think that she did hear from Gretchen that I told her. And the fact that like actually Emily can't see where, because I know that Tamra can see where Emily's coming from, she just doesn't give a fuck anymore. She's like, I don't care. But the fact that Emily at least doesn't seem to be able to see where Tamra's coming from, is like, look, she has accused me of doing something illegal, of drugging somebody on camera in order, you know, like, you don't think that I don't have a right to go find out what has happened?
I think Emily has something to hide. Her reaction was far too strong. Her reaction was like, she's like, now I'm getting angry at you, Tamra. I was like, she has something to hide. She's trying to squash this, because I think at that point they thought Katie was gone. I think she thought Katie was gone, and with Katie, other stuff that maybe hadn't come out yet.
I hadn't thought about that.
Her reaction was just like anger. She turned it. It went from like, you shouldn't do that, to now I'm angry that you would even speak to her.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, I don't get that. I don't get that, whatever. But then Tamra just walks off. I was like, Tamra needs an anger management therapist, and she also needs how to learn to fight constructively, because she can't do that. She doesn't know how to like have a discussion, how to argue with somebody and get to resolution. And the thing is, though, is that you see actually Heather trying to do that with her. You actually even see Gina trying to do that with her. Like, how can we like get to a place of like resolution here where we're both being heard? You know, which is interesting, because when Heather and Gina have their argument, that's actually what ends up happening. They both feel heard, and you know, there's some sense of like resolution there. But they do argue. Whereas like Tamra, it's either you agree with me or you don't. And if you don't, I'm going to walk away. And that's not productive. And I think that's another one of the reasons why a few years ago when she left, I was glad, because it was that's all the arguments were. Because it was like, just, she can't get anywhere. We want to see some type of resolution. Again, like kind of going back to like what we talked about with Jax Taylor, we always want to see growth out of our Bravo, for lack of a better term, characters. Like, that's what we want to see. We want to see growth. And I need to see growth out of Tamra. I can appreciate her game and stuff, but I need to start seeing some growth out of her.
I like her just the way she is.
I know you do, but I need a little bit more. That doesn't mean that she can't be like conniving and like argumentative and stuff like that, but I need to see some growth out of there, so that when she twists the knife, it's just more interesting to me. That's my opinion. Anyway. I mean, this is when Tamra starts saying that this is the last time she'll ever film. And I was like, oh, please.
Oh, my God. Everyone, did you see the way? Everyone just rolled their eyes. They're like, whatever. This cookie's delicious. Anyways, hey, did you see the twinkle lights? No one cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. And they didn't say it in this moment, unless it was edited out, because they didn't include it in last week's episode. But at this point, she had just quit a couple of days before. Again, for the second time this season. This was her third now. So yeah, they were just like, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is all literally, sorry, I'm just like looking at my notes. This is all before they even start decorating the cakes. Because then Tamra goes off on Heather, and then the comedy thing comes up, and then that's finally when Gina and Heather have their like argument about the comedy stuff. I will say this. And Gina keeps saying sitcoms, and I go, Gina, do you understand? Sitcom stands for situation comedy. Again, I'm just but another thing, you know, this is another time when Tamra lights a match and just throws it because she's just standing there in the background, just watching Gina and Heather fight it out for a while, and you even see her. I'm like,
this is where the rest of the cast was out of their element. This was like I would have been like watching like Tamra. This was very like two New York people screaming at each other. One's Italian, one's Jewish, and this is where it really came out in Heather, because Heather was like, I'm not afraid. This was not Beverly Hills Heather. This was like the Bronx. I don't know. Those two were going at it. And then finally, of course, Gina softened, and I mean, yeah.
Yep. And then they finally decorate cakes.
Yeah.
And when, again, Heather... you and I are both going to have to go to that penthouse, because now, like when Heather said, I watch, cake decorating videos on TikTok, I was like, so do I, Heather, so do I. They're very relaxing. I also watch them on YouTube too.
Because I like to watch things that I refuse to let myself eat. So I do.
See, the three of us, we're all the same. Yeah.
And there's also with cakes, especially I don't know what the visual version of ASMR is, but it's very like Reiki, like the little sand trap that you comb. That's what smoothing out the frosting does.
It's exactly what it is. It is visual ASMR for sure. Oh my gosh. It's so soothing.
Yeah, it is. Did you know? I wonder here. In this, and I'm not trying to be mean to Emily, because we said she looked great here, great at this party, but she has made two things: her weight up and down and feeling ashamed of it, and shamed by people like Heather for it. Part of her story. Also, her shtick is the food in the purse, the food in the pocket, the food in the sauna. And I was sitting there watching, you see these rail thin women like Heather, the most beautiful cakes, just smooth, perfect, and Emily looks miserable there, and she's just glopping on the frosting, and just like it was almost felt like on purpose, like she and I was like, is this one to draw attention to food? I don't know. Like did she have something up her sleeve for another like pocket taco or sauna sub? Like
a pocket taco. She's making her like anger cake, and I was like, please don't put that type of energy into such a beautiful dessert. Like, don't do that. No.
Or was she gonna be, or I was like, is this one of those setups for her to have her emotional moment and be like, it's just so hard for me to eat cake around these women, I'm the only one who eats? Like, I don't know where she was going with it, but it fell flat, and she just looked miserable when her cake was out.
Maybe it's something that got edited out.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It could have been, because it was just like they cut to her and she looks upset, and she's just like, everyone else had beautiful smooth cakes.
Beautiful smooth cakes.
They put thought into it.
Oh gosh. Man. Well, they decorate all their cakes, and they're good. They're decent. Most of them. But then this is where Tamra brings out her receipts for Jen following Jeff's wife, and but that she like literally followed him minutes after. Like, basically, it looks like on the ride home from the filming of the self-defense. She
time-stamped it 5:22.
Well, it sounds like the wife time-stamped it for Tamra. Because Tamra wouldn't be able to get that timestamp. It would have to be the wife who did that for Tamra. So, and then she's like, she printed them out, and I was like, well, I understand that. She's like, yeah, so I could see it better. And I was like, Yeah, I get that.
I know, because they were trying to make that like like Jen gets a pass for clearly, by the way, Jen was doing exactly what she hated Katie for and accused her of. And in her confessionals and in the after show, she does admit, yeah, I was hoping he'd see my name and reach out to me and start giving me dirt. It's okay when Jen does it, but not Katie. You have to be like, oh, you're so cute and mischievous, Pedranti.
Right.
And that's how she's like insisting you take it because it's her. And where was I going with it? Oh yeah, the printouts. I get like, oh, she's being dramatic. Is this like one of those Kenya Moore or a reunion moment, a binder moment?
But Monique Samuel's in her binder.
Yeah, Tamra didn't have them blown up and mounted at Kinko's. She just
no, she did not pull Lisa. Lisa Barlow.
Right.
Dismissed.
And it makes sense too, because sometimes you guys, when if I'm watching on Peacock and I want a screenshot, it won't let you, the streaming services has those blockers. So what I do is take another device and I take a picture of the screen, and it doesn't photograph well and it doesn't record well. And I think Tamra, the ultimate producer, knew it will read better on camera if she needs to, if she holds them up. So.
It will for sure. Also, like, I think a lot of people were like, what? Her response was also just so lame. I think I think most of, especially all of those women have children, could go, my child could lie better than that.
Yeah.
Like, come on. But basically, after like they're all fighting and everything, like Shannon and then Gina are the only two people who asked the pertinent question of like, are we taking the cake?
Yeah.
Like, as we're leaving, like, are we taking the cake? And I was like, I can't believe nobody seems to be leaving with the cake, like any of this cake. I'm very upset. I need that cake decorator to like I need her information, because I will hire her for a party and I will eat all of the cakes. My birthday's coming up in 2 months. So yes, 2 months from the airing of this episode.
Yeah. It'd
Yep.
be better though, if maybe it was held at Heather Dubrow's penthouse. Just saying.
Just saying, Heather. Just saying. Like, you know what? It also, I don't know when Hanukkah is this year. Sometimes it's over my birthday. Like, we could do a whole Hanukkah, Stacy's birthday cake thing. Like, let's just do it. Let's just do it all.
We could. Oh my God, this is a great excuse to be over at Heather's for 8 full nights. We'll make a cake each night and use the cake as the menorah, because the candles.
Imagine that.
And maybe by the end of 8 nights, we've established squatters' rights, and then they just get rid of.
Hello. I'm
getting in that penthouse.
Why are you telling this?
Why
are you saying this out loud? Please don't. Be a smarter housewife. Come on. Don't say it out loud.
I'm being Jen Pedranti, and then I'm gonna be like, oh, Heather, I was just teasing. I was just saying I like buildings. I don't know any. I don't know the exact square footage for how much you paid. What? Huh?
Me? No, not little old me. No.
And then
I'm just a.
Oh, what?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was like, then we get Tamra quitting. And then this part, I actually laughed out loud. I'll give it to Shannon. You hear her kind of like off camera muttering to herself, and they say, I'm unprofessional.
Yes! I heard that too. And I was like, oh my gosh. See, I would actually say that Shannon brings the comedy, like, in that sense. Like, she will say because she also has those pointed, she has those one-liners at times that are not comedy lowballs. like low hanging fruits either. Like she will do
She's
those
more like
anyway.
improv comedy. Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that's, and I think that's what, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I was going
Yeah.
with it. I was giving her credit, by the way, though. I was saying, like, I
Oh
see, like,
yeah.
she's physical, she's goofy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just think comedy comes in all different kinds of forms. And like, look, the person who's loud and obnoxious and who's quote unquote funny, like on the train or in class, is not always necessarily a funny person when you turn a camera on them. And I know that from casting reality television.
Oh, yeah.
Because sometimes people are like, this person's hilarious, they're great, da, da, da. And as soon as you turn a camera on them, oh my gosh, they are nothing. Also, lots of people think that very banal things are funny, and they are not.
Yeah.
Well, if you think we're funny,
yeah,
or even if you
like,
don't,
I was like, how are we gonna fit subscribe into here?
just subscribe. Subscribe if you think we're funny. Subscribe if you think we're interesting. Subscribe if you I don't know, like Housewives, like what we have to say. Don't like what we have to say. If you want to hate subscribe, oh, we would love that.
Yeah.
We love it.
A subscribe is a subscribe. We don't care where you're coming from. Reach out. If you tell your Etsy witches who you are paying to curse us to also subscribe. I don't care.
Yeah, it'll give them more ammo.
Yeah.
Too. So you know, it works. It definitely works. For sure.
And also make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all over the place, so you guys can follow along on our 8 nights of baking cakes in Heather Dubrow's 38th floor penthouse at the Century.
Manifest.
Adios.